We're going to work with a very nice tool called pivot tables in this unit. So a pivot table is a way of organizing the data into a smaller table that summarizes the data in a way that you are interested in. So let's just make one and then we'll talk about options. So I want to use the whole data table. So I'm going to highlight all columns and I'm going to insert a pivot table. The correct range is selected. I'm going to put it into the existing worksheet. I think I'll put it into cell R2 here. Okay, so there's my pivot table. Now I'm going to scroll over so that I can see it. We're just going to make one. It will help you see what the possibilities are. So you see here we have columns, we have rows, we have values. I think in a table, when I look at the column, I would like to see animal. So you see that animals are in columns. And when I look at the rows, oh, I lost it here. Okay, when I look at the row, I want to see, let's do the sex of the animal, the male, female. Okay. So now first, I'm going to go to my pivot table. I don't like the blanks, so I'm going to get rid of the blanks. Same here with the column, get rid of the blanks. Okay, now on the inside of the pivot table, what do I want to see for values? Well, I would like to count up. Let me just put the age there for a minute. So these numbers are very large, and what this is doing is it's saying for all the female cats, sum their ages. I have no idea why that would be at all interesting to you, the sum of the ages of the cats. Let's, instead of looking at sum, I'm going to go to the value, and I would like to count. Very nice. Now, I love things centered. It's just easier for me to look at. So what this is saying, we see our 1,000 because there's 1,000 rows of data. So there are 192 female cats. There are 283 female dogs. Okay, now this is a count, but what if I wanted to know the average of the age? So I would go back to the field and I would do average instead. And that is too many decimal points to look at. So let me go down decimals. We'll go to 1 decimal point. Okay, so again, this is the age. So the average age of a female cat taken to the shelter is 1.3. The average age of a male cat is 1.6. There's not a lot of differences in the average age for males and female cats. Same thing for dogs. The average is in fact both 2.8 for females and for males. So when you're in one animal type, the average age for male and female is not very different. But notice for females, the average age of a dog taken to the shelter is a lot bigger than female. Same thing for males. The average age of a dog taken to the shelter is bigger. So what this table is showing is that dogs who go to the shelter are on average older than cats that go to the shelter, but gender is not making a difference in any particular animal as far as how old they are when they go to the shelter. Okay, so that is the basics of a pivot table. Now, sometimes, see how the pivot field is gone? And sometimes you can just click on it and it pops right back up. But what happens if that doesn't happen? So what I can do is I can go to my pivot table analyze. I'm going to click there. pivot table analyze, and field list. The field list is what gets that back for you, where you can change up your pivot table. The first time I ever did this, I feel like I spent an hour looking for that. So it's called the field list. You click somewhere on the pivot table, you go to pivot table analyze, field list, and up comes the information for you to adjust.